It's hello, Dexter Morgan, but goodbye, Christine Hill. Arthur Mitchell finally finds out who Kyle Butler is, but at the same time says goodbye to his daughter. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review the penultimate episode of Season 4. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the getaway. But this is episode 11, and yeah, we see a big character death. We get the true reveal that Kyle Butler is indeed Dexter Morgan. We get that from Arthur Mitchell's perspective. We see Lundy's name get scrubbed off the board. We say goodbye to Lundy. Will we ever see Lundy again? Probably sure he'll be mentioned in the next episode. But his name is no longer there.
His name is no longer there, but you're speaking of the getaway. I hope Season 4 never gets away from my grasp, because it's been very good. Very good. And this episode was no different, but I look at Big Arthur Mitchell, Big John Lithgow. What a performance this season.
Amazing.
How you prefer guys like George King over this guy? I do not know. Alright, I do not know.
Yeah, night and day.
Ice Truck Killer was a different kind of killer, but I think this guy just edges it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. Here, Brian Moser, great character. You had the relation as well to Dexter, which I think made things a lot more interesting. But as good as he was, I don't think he compares to Arthur Mitchell. I would have to say, in terms of antagonists, I think Arthur Mitchell is the best by a mile.
No, absolutely. To this point, yeah, and I doubt he'll be eclipsed.
And I don't count Dokes in there, because for me, Dokes isn't an antagonist. I know he's an antagonist from Dexter's standpoint, but for me, antagonists are bad guys. Dokes is not a bad guy, but I think it's fair to say that Arthur Mitchell is a very bad guy. Or maybe you could argue, well, I was going to say maybe you could argue Arthur Mitchell's a good guy, but Trinity's a bad guy, but nah. Arthur Mitchell's just a bad guy.
Shut up.
Yeah, so we start with Christine Hill. She's still in the department, still under interrogation. Batista, though, he's not naming her as he's naming her as a potential witness rather than
Suspect.
A suspect. So therefore, he gets to keep her as long as he wants. He's trying to pressurize her, but it's not really working. He's trying to give her la passion, but Christine Hill playing hard to get.
I don't think that's right, though, isn't it? Not. I mean, the court of law, you can hold witnesses as long as you want, but not the actual murder suspects.
Even the way Batista, right, was kind of like up on her face and breathing heavy. I feel like in real life, though, if you do that,
it's like a suspension.
It's a sexual
lawsuit.
fucking. I don't know, like.
La passion.
Yeah, the La Passion was too strong, but no, Christine Hill insists she's no idea how she might be related to Trinity. She's claiming that it's not true, says her mother's dead, and she doesn't have a father.
No, she doesn't have a father in Didio, but Arthur, he's sitting in his hotel room, he's wondering why there's no answer for Christine, but then he sees the news report about big scary boy, he's returned home safe. I tell you what, the police should have been at Scott's door and be like, right, we need you to draw a template of who kidnapped you, big man. Who was playing choo-choo trains? Thomas the Tank with you?
Yeah, we need a drawing, but Dexter's decided that he needs to kill Arthur Mitchell. He needs to frame Arthur. He needs them to find. He needs to put a name that isn't Arthur Mitchell on to the Trinity Killer, so he can take Arthur for himself. That's what Dexter wants.
Yeah, because not only does he need that to happen. Say they brought Trinity to justice or arrested him, and Dexter needed to provide evidence as like blood splatter when he stood up in court. I mean, Trinity's just going to look at him, dob him in.
Yeah, very true. Although the thing is, though, right? I know life is vital, and I totally get that. But I mean, you could argue Dexter's giving these guys an easy way out, couldn't you, by killing them?
You could.
Rather than the Trinity Killer maybe getting the electric chair or getting life. And
the show would be very boring, though, if he was like, right, I'm going to capture them to a degree where I'm going to point all the evidence towards them so we make no mistake about it and they go to jail. But that doesn't work, then I'll kill them.
Yeah, but even, like, he's willing to jeopardise investigations, and even this being so personal to Debra, he's willing to either fuck up the investigation or give Debra the wrong person. Now, you could argue if he gives her the wrong person, she's not going to know. But you'd wonder if that ever comes into his thinking, where he's like, you know what, maybe for the actual good of a family member here, or for the good of my department, I'll let them have this one win.
I think you're right. I feel like Arthur Mitchell, just because what's happened with Lundy, the amount of people that he's killed, and how close it feels and personal it is, I think the correct decision is absolutely getting him to jail.
Even like when you think back earlier in the season when he stole Lundy's work, and it's like Lundy was further ahead than they imagined because he stole Lundy's stuff. And it's like, Lundy's dead. Lundy's dead because he was tracking the Trinity Killer, and Dexter's taken away for the progress that he made. And I know because that's Dexter, he has to be the one to kill him. The department can't find him. But do you don't think it is a bit shit?
No, it is. It's like undermined tactics, but he doesn't view it that way. This doesn't cross his thought process.
Yeah, but Arthur Mitchell's thought process is interesting after Scott returns home to his parents. So we've got that. Then Dexter looks through the criminals from Debra's DNA sweep, and he picks out a Stan Beaudry. He thinks that's going to be a good guy to frame. I guess it's as good as any. He's a trucker, so yeah, long distance trucker. He could get from place to place. He could be the Trinity Killer. So Dexter puts his name there. He gets a phone call. Dexter's like, he wants $50,000 or he'll tell everybody that Arthur is a pedophile. And Arthur's like, I am indeed not a pedophile.
I am not a pedophile.
I mean,
where are you getting that tongue, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, probably rather come out as the Trinity Killer, I guess. I mean, when he, like, I mean,
you can say he's not a pedophile, right? And technically he's not, but when you've kidnapped a young boy and you're like, oh, I'll preserve his innocence, Kyle, don't worry.
And you're telling him to put pajamas on.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess he's not jumping into baths with kids, but that's also very, well, technically they're very young, like, adults, aren't they?
I mean, technically now, Dexter wants the money, but Arthur's like, I'm not in Miami right now, so I can't give you it. But we see him pulling out the phone book. He's a liar. He is in Miami. And he starts searching up the name Kyle Butler, finding two names.
Sarah Connor.
So yeah, this gave me like...
Kyle Butler.
Did kind of give me Terminator vibes.
Yeah. Terminator vibes, but I'll tell you what, pedo nonsense Terminator vibes.
Yeah.
Who played it better, Arnie or John?
Both did a really good job. Christine's still in the interrogation room. She's not changing her story. Just refusing to give any more detail. And Angel's trying his best, but it's just not working. At this point, I think she's been there for a couple of days, or at least it feels that way. But she knows that she can't be held for more than 48 hours. But again, because she's been held as a witness, she can be held as long as they want to. Which doesn't seem right, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, say a witness, but then it's weird though, because with a witness, you feel like they say what they saw. And it's like, how can they really be kept past an allotted amount of time? Like a suspect, you want them to admit to the truth, or like tell you stuff that like can incriminate other people. A witness can only tell you what they saw. Like, how much stuff can they tell you that's going to last over days?
I guess with a witness, so it's like, it's very rare they would keep you for a long period of time to extract information from you. It's probably more likely to be down to protect you for your own personal safety and try and maybe stop you from getting taken out or harmed on the outside world. But we have Debra and Quinn watching a monitor. Debra calls Christine a bitch, but Quinn reminds Debra that there isn't any proof. But she says there's proof in her gut. Debra tells Quinn he's too close to the case, and I'm pretty sure we've heard that before this season.
Yeah, we've heard it from Quinn to Debra, so it's a wee bit of tit for tat going on here. Debra wants to give it her attempt here, she goes in, but it kind of just backfires.
Yeah, Quinn kind of leaves her on double one. Quinn just points up to the name Lundy, and it's like, who's too close?
Who's too close, you dumb bitch? I mean, that is what it is, but yeah, Lundy's name's going to get rubbed out soon.
Yeah, now Dexter runs in. He asks if Christine has said anything yet, because he's anxious. He doesn't want the truth to be revealed. Quinn says that she won't. Dexter says, let's hope not. And he gets a dirty look from Debra, who obviously wants to nail Christine and get the proof, get justice for Lundy. So Debra has to think on his feet. Dexter has to think on his feet, sorry. So he's like, for Quinn's sake.
he does this all the time, doesn't he?
Quinn responds with a fuck you. And so Dexter's like, and
where are you going to fuck?
Dexter then goes to leave, and Quinn's like, "Where are you going this time? Half day?" And Dexter is like, I'm going for lunch with my wife." Quinn doesn't believe him, but Debra tells Dexter to cut Quinn some slack. So, yeah.
I tell you what, though, right? He is Mr. Half Day. He's never there. And Harry points this out, mate. You're juggling too many things. What about Dexter? Dexter Mork.
Yeah, Maria then obtains a warrant to search Christina's apartment. Quinn wants to go, but he's not allowed for obvious reasons.
Fucking any obvious reasons, man.
Yeah, so, I mean...
But Batista, I walk alone. Plenty of walking with the amount of shoes on display. But him and Debra, they find postcards. And, yeah, I don't think all of them were dated, but it points a pretty, easy picture about who's her father.
Christine's got more fucking shoes, though, than the Trinity Killer's got kills.
And that's a lot of kills.
But yeah, there's postcards from all the locations where there was Trinity cycles. And that's one thing, but every postcard said the exact same thing. Wish you were here. Love, Daddy. I mean, could you not, mix things up a wee bit, Trinity? It's almost like Arthur Mitchell just genuinely doesn't care. Do you get the feeling from these postcards that he wishes Christine was there? It feels like he's almost obliged to send a postcard, doesn't it? It's not like he cares.
It almost doesn't make sense.
Where's the personality? Where's the personal writing or message?
It's almost like it's a forced plot point that he's got to send this to leave some sort of paper trail behind. Because you're right, when you see conversations between the two, fuck this episode, he basically cuts all ties. Seems like he doesn't give two shits.
Yeah, someone who is wanting to cut ties in the department, Matthews, he orders Maria and Angel into the office. He shows them a video of some guy stealing at a liquor store. But half an hour before that, before the robbery, there was two people kissing, and it turns out to be Maria and Angel. So at this point, he says you're going to hear from the board of directors, and there's going to be career consequences. So he did warn them.
He did. But do you not think Matthews has been... He's been underutilised, I think.
He has. Since season 2, he's taken a back seat.
Season 2, he spoke with Dexter about Harry. Oh, Harry this, Harry that. Your father was sick, son. That sort of talk. And it's like, what the fuck's what's he done since then?
Yeah, I think in Dexter Original Sin, it'll be interesting to see. I hope that they actually play on that relationship between Matthews and...
Where is he?
Matthews?
Aye.
I don't know.
He's not in Original Sin.
Very good point.
You're really, I hope he plays on it, but he's not there.
I've just caught on to that there.
Yeah.
But we've seen in Dexter that he was there, because remember he came on Debra's birthday party?
Yeah.
So the timeline suggests that he should be in it.
I guess he could be in a different department. He could be somewhere. He could be working a case somewhere else, like Lundy, But to me, the way Dexter portrays it is that this guy was always there. But then he's never there in this show, so I guess he's maybe on one of his hiatuses back then even.
But you'd think he'd be lower down the chain back then, so he maybe wouldn't, So it is what it is. Maria asks him, what's your beef with me? Plays the gender card, plays the race card. Matthews just replies, your arrogance, and walks out.
Brilliant for Big Matthews.
Yeah. Left her there on double one. But I believe that Stan Beaudry is soon going to be left on double one. He once killed a prostitute with a crowbar. He got off on a technicality. I don't think Dexter's going to let him off on a technicality, though.
He's absolutely not. We see Dexter, he snooped around the guy's... I was going to say house. It's not a house. It's some rundown trailer shack at the end of the day. He plants evidence after the kill, but as for the kill, he gets in the truck. Dexter injects him. I believe he kills him in the back of the truck. Yeah,
he chokes him with a razor wire and then just pulls him into the back of the fucking the trailer.
It was so quick and rushed, but it is what it is. And he's like, you normally give a dialogue here, a monologue, but not today. I'm gonna cut you, you pig. I'm gonna cut your heart out, you motherfucker. Screaming.
I thought Stan Beaudry was decent for the 2 minutes that we got.
Yeah, the 2 minutes on screen, but Dexter kills him, blood sprays up, blah blah blah. Don't know where he got. Well, I was going to say what he did with the body's kind of irrelevant. We don't know where he put that. We don't know where he put the body, but he put the comb and he put the toothbrush in place. The DNA for Trinity is all around the truck. It's all around the trailer shack. But it's like, how shite is the Miami PD? Yes, all the evidence points towards this guy, but as Debra later points out, the guy didn't get caught in 30 years. He seemed to be this guy who was like, clean, spot on, and it turns out he's just some fucking random guy trucking around America? Come on, damn it.
It doesn't make sense, does it not? I think you've seen Dexter's face a wee bit, he kind of know, he's very thought, yeah, doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and you know what though, it's not the only time. Dexter's framed a lot of people and put, things into play.
I know, but never someone with a 30-year fucking kill
true.
streak going on. Anyway, Stan Baudry's not the only guy to die. We say goodbye to the actual Kyle Butler.
Well, I guess Stokes. Evidence did point towards Stokes, but it's like, why the fuck would Stokes do it?
True. But anyway, Kyle Butler, what's your thoughts on this? Arthur Morgan trying to break into his house. He thinks it may be the Kyle Butler. Arthur Mitchell trying to break into Kyle Butler's house, thinking it's Dexter. But it wasn't Dexter. It was actually some guy legitimately called Kyle.
I'm just looking for my pal. You break into your pal's house. And
yeah,
he just looks at him.
Arthur tries to leave. You can see he's got no interest in wasting any time here. The young man threatens to call the cops. Arthur then just looks at him. And unfortunately, this is the last time we see this guy alive.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This guy just gets his skull crushed in, and then when the wee rookie, or the guy wanted to borrow the lawnmower.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Orderly, it was Kyle Butler.
And Dexter had another therapist session to go to, but he had to go to this crime scene instead. Rita tried to convince him to go through with the therapist session by admitting she was kissed by Elliot, or she kissed Elliot, or Elliot kissed her. There was a kiss between the two of them. Dexter, though, says that, he can't and he has to leave. Now, most people would maybe just say this because they're angry, upset, and they're trying to put off the discussion, but Dexter just genuinely doesn't care.
This is so weak for Rita, though. Oh, he kissed me. Did Elliot want it more after the initial kiss? Yeah, I think that's deniable, but it's not like she pulled away.
Yeah, but Dexter didn't care.
No, Dexter didn't care, but I don't know, Rita just plays the victim a lot.
She does. Now, Dexter gets there, he finds the young man in a pool of blood, eyes swollen, according to Masuka, the guy who was choked. Masuka then talks about the therapy with Rita. Dexter says, stop looking at my schedule, and Masuka has to just blurt out that he's seen Rita kiss the next door neighbour, but Dexter's like, I already know, so Masuka is relieved for that. But then we have the victim get named, and Dexter is startled when he realises it's none other than Kyle Butler. And I mean, straight away, I think it's fair to say that Dexter just notices what's happening here, and that you have Arthur Morgan on a mission to kill every Kyle Butler. Now, fortunately, there's
Arthur Mitchell, mate, no Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Mitchell.
Trying to put over this Arthur Morgan. Yeah, I know who he is.
Well, I tell you what, Arthur Mitchell cared more about Kyle Butler than he ever did Christine, so
that's it.
Maybe it could be his son, who knows. So, at this point he realises that the Trinity Killer is after them. But there's only one more Kyle Butler, so Dexter thinks he needs to get there first.
He needs to get there first. He does get there first. He drugs the guy. Doug comes down the stairs. Doesn't look that interested, to be honest. Doug just goes in the back. Trinity then rocks up 6 hours later.
6'4" in the dark, walking slowly, menacingly to the door.
The door closes. He's not there. Why? Because he opened the door, he looked at the postcard, saw from the Butlers, and it was some guy that didn't look like Dexter and a shite dog.
Aye, so, I mean, obviously, Arthur seen this and thought, right, no need to go in here. Dexter was waiting. I mean, had Arthur not seen this postcard, could have just walked in, could have been taken care of.
Is that an amateur move for Dexter, though? Keeping this guy's postcards right at the front door where Arthur can see them.
Well, he doesn't keep them there, you know what I mean?
Aye, but he knows Arthur's coming in, for fuck's sake. You think, alright, let's not keep any pictures of this guy within close proximity.
He just might not notice,
might not notice. Dexter, your IQ's slipping by the minute, son.
Well, yeah, he's the man when it comes to postcards.
He is, actually.
So, he's more experienced than Dexter when it comes to postcards. I mean, see when Dexter's going on kills, do you think he wants to? I mean, he doesn't want anybody to know what he is.
No.
So Dexter's probably never sent a postcard.
Doesn't know what a postcard is.
Yeah. So, this guy's safe because now, I mean, Arthur knows this isn't the Kyle Butler that he's looking for. Plus, I mean, Arthur's a bastard, but I don't think he would kill someone just for the sake of doing it. I think it either needs to be in his cycle or like he did early in this episode to, obviously stop this guy from phoning the police.
Yeah, like we referenced Terminator, but, Terminator's objective was to kill all the Sarah Connors. He doesn't need to kill all the Kyle Butlers.
Yeah, this guy, it's not like Arthur Mitchell's going to kill every Kyle Butler. He's only going to kill the Kyle Butler that he wants to kill.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't need to kill Kyle, I don't think he will. But yeah, the postcards. Angel's back in the interrogation room. He's showing her the postcards and the fact that they are addressed from Daddy. But nah, she's not giving up. She's sticking to her story. Angel says that your dad is the Trinity Killer, and he's been sending her postcards from hell, but she refuses it. And then she says, I want to talk to my lawyer, which Angel says that's the smartest thing you've said.
Smartest thing she said, she'll get her lawyer, will she though? Because then there's talk about, well, let's just release her, you know, and then we can maybe follow her.
Well, she does accuse Angel of planting the postcards, which, I mean...
They are that generic and basic. You know what? I think you could buy that, but then what you've got to say is, these postcards are dated. You know, like some of them say like 96 San Francisco.
I guess you could buy them. Okay,
you could. And you know what? I don't think these postcards would hold up in a court of law.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
You know, yeah, it's like you would have to find other evidence of the Trinity Killer and like match his handwriting potentially, but then that's going down a... Or, here, I'm sure his DNA's on the postcards, but then they already know that she's got the same DNA.
Yeah, I mean, would it be? Who knows? But Debra and Quinn are watching from the briefing room, and they have an argument over who's the bigger asshole. Quinn thinks he's a fucktard for falling for this, but then Debra talks about the fact that she was engaged to the ice truck killer, and she says if you want to discuss who's the bigger asshole, I'm going to win. Do you agree? Does Debra win?
Probably. You know why? Because I think it was more obvious with the ice truck killer in the first season. It's like, with Christine, we didn't really know she was the one that killed Lundy until like last episode. You know what I mean? But I feel like with the ice truck killer, fuck, I called it straight away when he was in the hospital. Not that Debra could have, like, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, Rita stayed up all night though. Dexter gets home. She wants to talk about not killing Elliot. She wants to talk about kissing Elliot. Dexter's not upset. He's not hurt, but Rita kind of wants him to be. So I guess Dexter is going to feel how Rita wants him to feel. And I think that leads to him later on punching Elliot. So, yeah. Curious as to why Christine has failed to answer her phone, though. Arthur decides to swing by the apartment, but she's not there. However, he does see the fact that the front door is being taped up. And, I mean, he puts two and two together at this point. I think that's the last time he'll be visiting his door.
Absolutely. She's been arrested, mate. It's time to go.
He played it smart. It's not like he walked up to it. He kind of just walked past, like a drive-by, walk-by.
I'm like, oh, what's going on there? Don't need to know. Never need to know.
So, yeah, we have that. With Angel's permission, Debra takes one last crack at Christine.
This did not work.
Yeah, she goes from the whole daughter-to-daughter sort of spew, where she talks about how her dad didn't really show her a lot of time. She wanted to be closer to her dad, so she became a cop to be like her dad. But Christine is not buying it. She also brought her lunch, a big burrito, but Christine's like, I don't eat that shit. Debra's like, here's a wee yogurt or whatever it was. Not even a yogurt.
You watch too much TV.
Like
you watch too much TV.
Yeah, so it was a fruit thing. Christine asked if it's injected to get me to talk, which Debra said, nah, you watch too much TV. But by the end of it, Debra thought she was going to get answers by just opening up about her daddy issues. Christine wasn't buying it, and Christine says, you must watch much TV if you think I'm going to answer to you and open up just because you're trying to talk about your dad and my dad. So
the key thing that was pointed out though is that her mother actually died 5 years prior, so that probably rules her out of being a
that does rule her out. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So I think we can all
unless like that is another cover up, but they didn't really go into it, so I doubt it was.
Dexter gets called back to the station by Batista. He's not happy about it, and he's even less happy when he finds out the reason why, and it is because he has to be there as a witness to watch Maria and Angel get married. I mean, most people would be excited, most people would be happy for their colleagues. Dexter was just pissed that he was called back to the station when he's got a Stan Bodry to kill.
No wonder, but you feel like this is just one of those bits of legislation that should not be working. Here it's like, what sort of plot hole's this? From like they got married after they got caught and they broke the affidavit. I mean, come on, folks.
Yeah, this is not going to hold up, is it?
I think it's more just Matthews can't be arsed dragging the arse out of it.
Yeah, so Christine's back in her apartment. She calls Arthur. Arthur's like, I know where you've been. Don't call me again. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, shut up, cunt. You know, he's like, I'm done. I wish you were never even born.
That was later.
It was later, but you know what? Later, then, you never want to hear it, do you? Doesn't matter if it's at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.
So Dexter gets home, Rita's watching him. I don't know if Dexter notices Rita watching him, but he goes over and basically punches Elliot and warns Elliot to stay away from his wife. But unlike Dexter, he actually threatens to kill Elliot if he touches Rita again, which I don't think is the right choice. I'm sure Harry wouldn't approve of that.
No, of course not. That's
Like
breaking
Dexter,
the code.
The whole point of you having this family is to, and I guess you could argue. I mean, how many times have we said you're going to kill? So you don't mean it like, but
yeah.
For Dexter,
it's a figure of speech.
I've never really seen him lose his cool.
I'm going to kill him.
I've never really seen him lose his cool like this with somebody that he isn't about to put on his table.
Yeah, but you know what, right?
Even the person he probably lost his cool with the most would have been Dokes. Back the fuck off.
Did Miguel 18 holes? That was pretty bad.
You bet.
That was more imagination. But it's like, did Elliot deserve punched here? Yes, by the way, Rita worded it, but the way it played out, it's
I think a warning would have been fine. Like,
yeah. It's like Rita tried to portray it. I mean, I'm not saying she tried to say that he forced himself upon her, but she tried to make it clear, it was him, not me.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Elliot's, I'm sure he'll wake up tomorrow and he'll forget about it. I doubt he's going to press charges on Dexter. But Rita seems happy that Dexter's actually done something because she's surprised that he cares enough. That's her way of wording it, really. But he cared that much. I mean, Rita's sitting there thinking that Dexter doesn't even care if she kissed, and he's right. She's right. He doesn't. I think Dexter knew she was watching.
I clocked her looking at the window and he went, I'll go do that then.
Yeah, that's what I think. Maria and Angel once again talk to Matthews. He notices now they've been married and they give him the whole Catholic Latino Miami.
La Passion.
Wouldn't be too happy for Matthews persecuting with this, but he thinks it's kind of sad that they have just got married to try and protect themselves and that they don't really see the true values in marriage. And you know what? I think Matthews has come out of both of these meetings, or whatever you want to call them, discussions, sit-downs, better than Maria and Angel.
They're having a go at him for trying to,
I think they're trying to point score, whereas he's just hitting them with the fact.
It's so hypocritical for these two, because they're having a go at him for potentially prosecuting them and going against, like, Latinos in marriage, but it's like, aren't you just undermining the entire integrity of marriage by what you've just done?
I believe so.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of filler, and I've gotten, this marriage...
I think this has been the only thing I haven't liked in season 4.
Yeah, it's not been horrific.
Yeah,
it's not been bad, but...
The only thing I would say is it's not taking up that much time.
And they've incorporated it to make it alright. Anyway, I think they'll be divorced pretty quickly. Right, anyway, you get Debra, Quinn, Dexter, Vince.
Stan Beaudry's shack.
We find... They find the hammer, they find the comb, they find the toothbrush.
You just don't live in a shack, Mr. Toothbrush. But you don't live in a shack like this, don't you? Not get away with killing for 30 years.
No, Dexter's like...
I mean, but see, they not give away DNA prints and shit. You need to be clean, you need to be precise.
Dexter then says, we just weren't looking. It's like, were we? Is that really good enough, though? Lundy would have caught this guy.
I know, come on. You think this guy would have fayed Lundy for 30 years? Absolutely not.
It's also the fact that this guy killed a prostitute and got away with it on a technicality. What about the other 44,000 murders? What are they all technicalities?
Yeah, also, like, if this guy was in the system, wouldn't they be able to match? I mean, I get it, Dexter has planted. Well, I guess they don't have the guy's actual DNA, but wouldn't they have his DNA from the past, no?
From that murder case?
Aye, unless
that's why the technicality, they couldn't find it.
I mean, possibly, I guess.
I mean, that could be a plot hole, but you'd feel like with a forensic show should have that on.
But then I guess with Dexter planting all of Arthur Mitchell's DNA, then
yeah,
or I don't, or Stan Beaudry's DNA, whatever. Anyway, again, Arthur's watching Angel on TV, and he sees that they have got Stan Beaudry in for this. So I mean, he's kind of puzzled, but I guess he's thinking, well, at least they've not caught me. Arthur repeats Beaudry's name. Christine then phones saying that she's in trouble. Arthur, though, isn't really interested, calls her a stupid girl who's always gotten in the way. But she says, I'm your daughter, I love you, Daddy, I was just trying to protect you. But she is told to never contact me again, and I'm sorry you were ever born. So yeah,
Do not call me again, cunt.
yeah, ever. Don't call me again, ever. Hangs up the phone and that's it. I mean, that's the last time Arthur will speak to his daughter. Alive or dead.
He's a weird guy.
Christine then breaks down, obviously upset. Killed Lundy, put herself in trouble. Looking at potentially life here. And this is her grateful father.
Yeah, like, you know what, she held strong. Unlike most people in this situation. You know what I mean? Like, a woman who's,
I'm pretty sure that the rest of his family would have jobbed him at, like...
Oh, wow.
Fucking Jonah would have threw him under the bus.
Aye.
So, I mean...
Throw him under the fan.
Is what it is. Back at the office, Quinn realises that Baudry has no electricity or running water, so they can't track through his utilities. So, yeah, I mean, this guy's just not the killer. Like, I think we all know that, but an officer comes over, tells Debra that Christine wants to talk, so that obviously means that she's willing to open up now. Quinn wants to go, but he can't go. He's told, though, he can stay outside. Dexter, though, receives a call for Arthur Mitchell. Arthur Mitchell said he's outside Dexter's home. It turns out he's outside some jet ski place. Said, you've been lying to me, Cal Butler, from the start.
He has been. And Trinity's now finally beginning to catch on.
Yeah, I mean, who the hell puts...
He's lied about everything, mate. Maybe his name isn't Kyle.
Yeah, their home address. Like, his home address, some jet ski... I don't know, trial thing.
Should you not have just done, like, an apartment complex? Where it's, like, multiple people live in it?
Yeah.
It's like, see this jet... Well, like, say, what would have
Yeah,
happened?
but do you think he was ever expecting it to get to the point where Arthur Mitchell was going to be on to him and track him down?
Yeah, but Arthur Mitchell, after, like, one... Honestly, see, after, like, the 10th time he met him at the hardware store, he should have been like, this guy's fucking weird, even though, I'm weird.
Check his hard drive.
Arthur checking, Kyle's hard drive, but it's what it is.
Yeah, so they argue over where the 50 grand's going to be. Dexter's like, it doesn't suit me, 7 o'clock here.
I want to... row C, down there.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, but Dexter hears the music in the background. He's like, you ain't going to meet me at 8, I'm going to meet you in 15 minutes. So Dexter then speeds off to the arcades. Debra goes to meet Christine. Christine then sits down, talks about her father. Debra says, we know who your father is, it's Stan Baudry. And Christine's like, wow. But she knows that it isn't him. She doesn't throw Arthur though under the bus. She still sticks strong here. She could have been like, well, you know what, Daddy, you wanting to treat me like that? Fuck you, I'm going to give you up. And she didn't.
And see, considering how smugly and freely Arthur Mitchell's walks into a certain department later on, say she did give him up.
Yeah, he'd have just been...
He'd have been on double one.
He'd have been on double one. Maybe he trusted his daughter not to. But she doesn't give him up. She just lets Debra think that, yeah, Stan Baudry is her father.
Gives her life up.
But, yeah, she says that she tried to make her dad love her, but all he does is hate her. Does Debra feel the same? Who knows? Christine agrees that she's a killer just like him. She says that, well, you spoke earlier about how you wanted to be a cop to please your dad and be just like your dad. Well, I wanted to be like my dad, and that's why I'm a killer. And that's why I killed Lundy. And obviously Debra upset here. Christine confesses to shooting the both of them. Christine apologises and then asks Debra if she can forgive her. She says, you're kidding me. I came here to arrest you. I came here to get justice for Lundy. I didn't come here to fucking forgive you. But Christine doesn't really seem bored because it doesn't matter to her. She's not got long left on this planet. Pulls a gun from under the sofa, puts it underneath her chin, pulls the trigger, bang. Quinn rushes upstairs, but nothing he can do. I mean, pool of blood.
No,
it's time to call Dexter.
No, he's got a time machine. Quinny boy. Absolutely not. But yeah, end of Christine. Didn't give up Arthur, but I mean, I think for the sake of the finale, she couldn't really give him up. But it's weird that she didn't. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yeah. Dexter! He arrives at the arcade. Trinity's seen through this, so, I mean, he arrives, he can't find him, then he receives a phone call for Deb, basically gives him like the 10-second rundown. I need you, you're my only family, Dexy. And then he rides off to the precinct. But at this point, Arthur Mitchell,
he's been followed.
6'4", 6'5", whatever height he is, he's looking down, he's staring at him. You're mine. Yeah, for considering Dexter's
normally Dexter's the guy that's chasing.
Yeah, it's like seeing other TV shows, you feel like when people are getting followed at like 2 cars length, they always notice it. Hey, you notice that beamer in the rear view mirror?
Yeah, but you can maybe say Dexter's more worried about his sister. Then again, is he worried about his
No, but Arthur doesn't even fucking find it. No, Dexter's been up his arse like most of this season, following him, and Arthur just drives about like nothing's happening.
Arthur Mitchell's like Rangers. He welcomes the chase.
He welcomes the chase, but
now he's chasing Dexter. Dexter gets to the department. Arthur Mitchell's following him. Dexter speaks to Debra, talks about the case, talks about Christine.
We gotta rub Lundy off the board.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do it. Dexter's like, well, I'll do it. She thought that she knew this was going to come, that Lundy's name would go away, but she just thought it would do more. Wasn't going to bring him back, obviously, but she thought maybe it would have more meaning, maybe help her get over it. But the fact is, Lundy's still dead. But she doesn't want Dexter to erase the name. She wants to do it herself, and she does do it. But then we see Arthur Mitchell makes his way into the department. He asks someone at the desk, does a Kyle Butler work here? And they say no. And he's like, right, well...
Visitor badge for me. Walks clean through.
Steals a nice wee badge off some old woman.
Notices a picture of the Miami bowling team.
Now, I didn't notice who the guy next to Dexter was, but, I mean, Kyle Butler certainly noticed Dexter on the left.
Fatter Hank Schrader.
It was. So you had Dexter, this fat Hank Schrader guy, and then you had Batista and Masuka. Who do you think bowled the most strikes that night? You think Masuka would be a good...
I think it was back at the start of season 2, wasn't it?
Aye, Dokes was outside, probably.
I'll go the baldy guy in the name.
No, I don't get. Why didn't Dokes just join the team if he wanted to keep an eye on Dexter?
True.
Remember, imagine Dexter wants to go to the toilet, is Dokes going to follow him? Look a bit gay, wouldn't it?
Look a bit gay.
Every time Dexter's like, I'm going to the toilet, guys, Dokes like, I'm going as well.
Jesus Christ, Dexter, you're the Bay Harbor gay boy.
So Arthur
Gay boy!
Arthur then spots the photo and he sees it labelled Miami Metro Homicide Bowling Team. Angel stops by to Quinn's desk, says, hang tough, hermano. You'll regain that La Passion.
La Passion!
He then walks past the elevator.
Elevator!
But there's a pinging noise and then Arthur Mitchell walks out, massive guy. We then see him enter the room with the Trinity whiteboards. He surveys all the photos. And I think he's even shocked to realise that they've got this much on him. Because when Christine mentioned that they were on to him, I mean, maybe he thought the recent cycle. I mean, he wasn't going to know that Lundy had like 30 years on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is crazy, and he's admiring his own work.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah, and he appreciates that Stan Bowdry is the man taking the...
You've done me a kindness.
You've done me a kindness. Then he walks into the main office, and it's kind of weird. Dexter and him almost notice each other at the exact same time.
Yeah. Dexter's arse folds while this guy's, he purrs like a cat, man. He smiles.
Dexter hurries out of his room, bangs into a cop, and they walk together, and Dexter and Arthur, they're standing face to face, and there's a bit of a height difference here. Dexter then is looking up at Arthur, and when he's looking up at him, it's like a wee child looking up at their parent when they know they've done something wrong. Dexter looks like he's absolutely shitting it here, and he's just got Arthur looking down on him. He lifts up his little lanyard and he goes, well, hello, Dexter Morgan. And that's it. Fade to black. Dexter has been caught.
I'm trying to think, right, of a better cliffhanger. Was just two guys having a face-off and a stare-down in TV history.
Oh, hold on. I think it's hard to think of a better cliffhanger full stop.
I know, but there's always been the Breaking Bad one. That always comes to mind with like Hank and Gomi. But I'm talking about simple, dialogue and looking at each other.
Don't think it's been done.
I am. Sometimes it would be I think TV shows, they almost bottle it. They think like certain characters can't carry it to the next set. I couldn't have thought of a better way to end this with these two. Trinity finally finds out who he is. The actual real killer is in the precinct. Dexter can't reveal it, or else it's good night. For numerous reasons. And it's like, holy shit, he knows his name, he'll know where he lives. What's Dexter's move? Does he kill him right here in the floor? The bullpen!
Well, we'll have to wait and find out the getaway. We'll see what happens. But who's going to get away?
I gotta get away. I don't know, damn it.
Anyway, rating time. It's time to give this out of 10.
I don't think it's a perfect episode, but I think it's a perfect ending. So I'll give it a 10, fuck it.
10?
Honestly, I think the whole scene where he gets into the precinct, it was very like Terminator this entire episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to give it a 10 because I feel like the last two episodes we gave a 9, And I do think that the last 2 episodes you could have gave a 10, and we haven't.
Yeah.
So I think one of the last 3 episodes is deserving of a 10. So you give us a 10, I'll give us a 10 as well. The last 4 episodes of season 4 are ranked in the top 10 of all time. People say how good the last 4 episodes of season 2 are, and they are. I think they're really great. Do you think season 4 has surpassed it? Still 1 episode to go, but
season 2?
Yeah, the last 4 episodes. Because remember, the last 4 episodes of season 2 really picked up.
Dukes didn't die in the finale, didn't he not?
He died at the beginning of it.
He died at the beginning. I think season 4 has surpassed it because I think a lot of season 2 it was like you already knew Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher. It was looking for a whole lot of nothing. I guess you could say there's similarities this season where we know he's the Trinity Killer. But it was like, who shot Lundy? Who shot Lundy? How's these people connected? What's Dexter going to finally do with this guy when the truth comes out? And there's still so much to go. I would give season 4 the nod unless,
Unless the finale flops.
But then, I don't think it needs to flop to be worse. It just needs to be a bit mediocre, so to speak.
Well,
I'll give but we're getting at 10, so.
It's a 10.
Can't ask for much more. Kyle Butler.
Yep, that's it, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.